Hello everybody, Chris Wood here, October 23rd, 2022. I just froze up. First off, I want to say thank you for tuning in, anybody that does. And second, to Lennox and Addington OPP, Ontario Provincial Police, Lennox and Addington County and General Hospital, and their co-offenders, Spencer Mills, 14716, ex-chief, staff sergeants, Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, Robert Lucas, and a health worker named Stacy, was Daily Tea Company here in Napanee, now Kingston, and Shelley Hafner. To Dr. Tatiana V, aka Margie V, name and file falsifier, Stacy's girlfriend, the one that basically signed my death certificate, getting me medically blacklisted, medically discriminated against, and prevented me help. Joy Hadley, Dr. Waldron, Barton, Pritchard, McGregor, triage nurse Terry, Tanya, and David, and a paladin security guard. William Bill Wooldridge, last known used name, 149 Center Street North, alleged Hells Angels, MC, leader, Ontario chapter, sex offender, stalker, guilty of murdering my mother back in 2020 with Blair Hardy, alleged Bandito MC leader. They stalked my mother and they caused her death in 2020. There is also Tyler Lake and Jay Van Alstyne. There is a Michelle and Allie Cooper, a Bucktooth Bob, I believe his right name is Robert Barry, Shelley Barchet, Tyler Lake's mother, a woman on the corner of Center and Thomas Street. She's an obese woman, has reddish brownish hair. There's Curtis. There is an Isaac. There is a Mike that's homeless. He lives in a tent or a trailer here. These people are all drug-fed co-offenders and guilty of aiding in crimes against me for 3 years for OPP revenge for speaking of their crimes. The human homeless trafficking that was taking place out of the Morning Star mission and the homeless exploitation for monetary gains and other crimes. As a result, I became a victim. Lies, time buying, cover ups, being surrounded, hands on guns, arrest refusals, being kidnapped 24 hours after asking for help against what has taken place with me with arresting and charging of cops and doctors May 27, 2021, 24 hours after I was kidnapped under false pretenses of incompetency through Shelley Hafner. That was done to shut me up. Oh, my connection's unstable. That was done to shut me up. And also in hopes of me being kept. And then when they found out what they'd done, they conveniently left, but not before getting my blood and my piss. I was falsely charged from the hospital, co-conspired from the hospital and OPP in an attempt to give me a record and also to deflect the crimes against me, to have me charged for harassment for wanting them arrested and charged and for crimes that they are guilty of for the past 3 years. So they co-conspired to do it to me, and that was an attempt to give me a record that I never had. There's been lies against me stating that I have a long criminal record and history and this and that, but none of it's true. Never had one, never been in jail, and was only charged by the hospital and doctors to deflect their crimes against me, like I just said. And that was to get out of to get away with what they're getting away with. They're human sex trade, slavery traffickers, identity thieves, financial thieves, extortion, blackmail, families of murdered and missing. It is OPP. They are human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, children to pedophiles, adults to sex offenders. I was sold for this identity theft, which I have proven many, many, many times in lots of video and lots of pictures. My mother was stalked and my mother was murdered for this reason, for this against me, and also for revenge retaliation from OPP. My skull has been split. My brain has been seriously injured. My right lung is completely gone. I no longer feel it. My kidney is completely screwed. When I eat anything now, my food and everything goes to the right side of my body. That's certainly not normal. I have stuff going through my head, my body, numbing me down constantly. And then I get the electricity and I get broadcasted through from what is called remote neuromonitoring, which is police and military tech that's been in use since the 60s. And what it does, it's made for destroying a person's central nervous system on them, basically to murder them. It's being used criminally. It's being used for illegal invasive surveillance on victims. They can see me and hear me doing this right now. I'm being broadcasted through by Tyler Lake, by Jabin Alstein, and also heavily by Blair Hardy lately. I was sold to him for this identity theft and for OPP revenge. They are drug traffickers. All the drugs and overdoses in Napanee are from them. I have absolutely no feeling anymore. There's been serious changes in deforming to my face, to my skull. Like I said, my skull's been split, and I right now am getting nothing but electricity coming down over my face, right in here, all through that. I'm losing vision from it, from them broadcasting over me through this shit. What the hell? Son of a bitch, I just had a tick on my freaking computer. What the hell? That's not good. But the place I live in anyway is just nothing but a den of bugs. So anyway, I've been going through this for 3 years, and I consciously am losing more and more and more of myself, and this is the whole point. So I'm not talking about this, and so I cannot get help. I I would go to the hospital. I'd just end up getting kicked out, or I just wouldn't be seen, or they just think because of the lies against me that I was there for drugs, which I don't do. I am against them. I've lost too many friends and family, and I myself in the past have done them and overdosed. And I am thankful that it happened because it was my wake up call. And that was back in 2012. So I've had a couple slip-ups since then, but I do not do it. I've lost too many friends and family from it. I don't even drink unless it's offered to me. I don't buy it. This is actually pathetic that I have to do this, especially when I'm a 50-year-old man and all I did was speak up of police crimes. And as a result, I am going through this identity theft. That spot, I hope it was seen, that spot on the back of my head, that's where everything goes before it starts spreading out through me. And that's where I get the electricity from. And I've had that spot there for 3 years, ever since I was shot by the ex-chief by something and a guy in a black truck, and it went into my right ear. And that's when the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, and everything else, medical treatment refusals. My skull's been completely and totally deformed and flattened. It's been widened. It's been normal. It's been elongated. It's been shortened. And I've shown it and proven it. Couldn't do nothing about it because I was being prevented from even being at a hospital. And if I had tried, it would have been a criminal offense because of me being charged. That was a year ago. That was in an attempt to also keep me from help, so to buy time. And I will not be proven wrong on this. I've had my medical rights, my legal rights, my human rights all taken from me so they can get away with it perfectly that it's here in Napanee. And they know that there's no help against them and their victims. They're using their badges, credentials, false guise of law, false arrest to try to criminalize their victims, to be unsuspecting of the crimes that they are committing, using Quinny detention also as a means. And the mental health system through Stacy by her bullshit lies. So this is how it's being done through them. My identity and my wood self is gone. So this is done after 3 years. Full facial changes pretty much. And mentally, I am losing myself more and more and more, conveniently not being able to get help. And I'm also getting a lot of air pumped into my body as well. So it's causing me to be numbed down, to be dumbed down, and that just works out perfect for them. This whole right side of my face is completely and totally fucking gone. So congratulations to all you sons of bitches. Let it be known that this is how the police murder, traffic, and frame victims here in Napanee, who especially for revenge retaliation for speaking of their crimes. They got doctors here to aid in their crimes and cover up. They got paladin security. They got inmates that are co-offenders, well paid and drug fed. They got a justice of the peace to obstruct, refuse arrest, make accusations on victims. So they got all of the angles covered here in Napanee. Spencer Mills 14716. You are garbage, filth. You are a serial killing fucking cop hiding behind your badge, just like the rest. You are cowards. You are serial killers. You are sex offenders. You are pedophiles. You are financial thieves. You are identity thieves. You are extortionists. And you are guilty of many, probably many crimes and murders here in Napanee. Congratulations, because yeah, I do believe you just got away with the biggest crime in Napanee. threw all of this on me, including a full fucking identity theft and change. I'm mentally not me no more. Look at my video from yesterday. This whole one side of my face is completely was swelled right up, and this you couldn't even see the left side of my face. So this is how much changes I've been through, especially overnight. This is how OPP traffic, this is how they frame, and this is how they are getting away with homicides here in Napanee. And because I cannot go to a hospital, because I cannot get help, there is nothing I can do about what has taken place with me. They've assured this to get away with it. They have assured this to get away with it. And nobody is arrestable. They will, like I said, surround hands on guns. They will kidnap. They've done it. I've even had an attempted kidnapping or whatever from them as early as 3 weeks ago when I was out back with my dog where I live. And they almost ran over my dog. As a matter of fact, if I wouldn't have got him in when I did, they would have ran him over. So they do kill animals as well. They're associated to Russell Williams as well. Aren't you, Wooldridge? Aren't you, Hardy and OPP? Anyway, I'm gonna keep this short and wrap this up. I have nobody on here, so there's no point in doing anything more. I just want to say after 3 years, this is pretty much completely done. I'm losing control in parts of my body, even while I'm getting air pumped through me, and all these bastards are using me like a game. OPP turned homicide into a game using remote neuromonitoring and the tech that they have and use that not a lot of people are aware of that does serious damage for them against their victims, including what I was showing, the full identity changes and everything else to me. I'm getting so much radiation and EMS, that's what's causing my deformity, my facial changes and everything else. My DNA has been completely fucked from 3 years of going through this, not being taken serious or believed about what is happening to me. Me almost having to beg for my life and fucking being called a piece of shit and being treated like one by doctors, being called a retard and other stuff, and then expected to take it when I walk out and they turn around and make it look like it is me refusing them. Not the case. I am not going to be treated like garbage by doctors who are involved in serious crimes. Anyway, I am not having a good day, and one way or another, legally, you will pay and be recognized, even though I cannot do anything more to save my life because time's been bought and this is done. You've taken my mother, you've taken me, and you've taken my bloodline for William Wooldridge, who is Hells Angels allegedly Ontario chapter leader and boss and co-offender to the police, used to stalk children at Tim Hortons daily here in Napanee for him and himself for sex slavery trafficking. And then when I got his picture, he went into hiding. So, bunch of delusional pieces of shit. You're using psychopaths, drug addicts, and everything else to mentally fuck up your victims in hopes that they go crazy, in hopes that they take on their personalities. These junky, delusional garbage that you're using. This is how another way you're justifying, trying to justify your crimes against your victims by doing this. injuring fucking brains and using tech and having people live through others criminally. And this has nothing to do with any mental illness in any way. And all of this can be proven, has been proven, is very researchable. So there is no imagination or delusions about it. I conveniently had not been to a hospital or a doctor in almost 7 to 10 years prior to all of this happening to me, and then conveniently the lies and everything else, the falsified file, the cover-ups, and all the other bullshit against me. Revenge, retaliation because of me speaking of their crimes once again, and I will not be proven wrong. This is their way about going about doing it. I have prisoner tracking on me illegally. So when the time comes with R&M as well, I read as these pieces of shit, so I will be taken as them. And I've already shown when they broadcast through me how much my face changes to their face. I no longer feel or see my old true self because of being injured so much. My skull's been split, my brain's been split, and I do have no stimulation anymore on the right side of my brain and head at all. None. I've had lies against me stating I'm suicidal and self-harmer. I'm certainly not suicidal. I've been trying to get help and save my life. A suicidal person wouldn't be doing that, or if I truly was, I would not be doing nothing. I would just go ahead and take my life. So fuck you and that bullshit assumption. Same with the self-harming crap. I don't self-harm. I love myself. Thank you very much. That may be Woldridge or all the rest of them, but it sure the hell is not me. I have a scar on my chin from when I was stabbed when I was a kid by a piece of glass in the throat, and it almost missed my jugular. As a matter of fact, it was Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, which was the ones that treated me back in the 1970s. So even OPP can prove the changes to me from when they got my fucking pictures when they falsely charged me for this to get my prints, my pictures, my signatures for the forgeries, framings, and frauds against me for this identity theft, and I will not be proven wrong. You're completely changing my fucking identity to look like a sex offending piece of shit so I can be taken as one for your benefit while he goes on and free to give more blowjobs and commit more crimes with him for OPP. And I don't want to be so graphic, but it is what it is. They prove inherent apathy against their victims. They can commit any crime, including ending bloodlines. They can take any life they want and get away with it. All anyone has to do is check out my profiles and all the different changes to my face and my skull and my actual identity on my Facebook page under Christ Wood. So I'm gonna get off here. I have no viewers. I'm just talking to myself. Love all, hate none, if nothing more for me. I live in Napanee, and the ones guilty are the ones named. It's the police. It is doctors here that co-commit and cover up with criminal negligent intent. And they're doing it. They are Hells Angels and Bandito associated cops and doctors with their inmates. They're drug traffickers, human traffickers, identity thieves, financial thieves. This is how they steal disabilities, pensions on victims as well, committing insurance frauds, taking out insurance policies and collecting on their victims afterwards, making a lot of money off of it. I've been talking about this for 3 years, being consistent of whom, how, and why. And I've been fighting this more and more and more. But everybody can see from even my earlier videos that check them out, you can definitely see the changes and differences in my faces and appearance since I started talking about this. So I am the victim of identity theft. I'm the victim of human trafficking. I am a sex slave for these pieces of shit garbage. People think it's only a female and girl crime. No, men, I'm getting human trafficked by a bunch of fucking men. It's being by a bunch, and I'm nothing against gay people, but it is all gays that are doing this to me, and a couple female too. There's Michelle, there's Sam as well. They're all passing this shit around and using it on me. They're all co-offenders, money paid, drug fed with for OPP, and under Waldridge and Hardy. Conveniently, probably down on Water Street or on John Street at Shelley's or above the bakery or wine store at the disabled woman's place where Hardy hangs out. And Van Alstyne, Jay Van Alstyne, he's at Ray Ray's with him and Sam and the rest. They are the human traffickers, they are the sex offenders, and they are guilty of very serious crimes. So I'm being dumbed down to be dumbed down. Right now, I'm being seriously broadcasted through by Wooldridge, and I'm also picking up Tyler Lake. This is kind of bullshit. This has nothing to do with any kind of fucking mental illness. I know who these people are, and I'm not just going to pick them out of thin air and say, okay, this person is doing this to me. Oh, they're using broadcasting through me, in me, and over me, and doing this to me to the point where my facial features and everything else are deforming and morphing to theirs. Like, what the hell? Because it's really, truly happening, and I've been proving it. So, no imaginations, no delusions. I'm not schizophrenic. I don't hear voices. I don't have hallucinations. No delusions. I don't think I'm somebody that I'm not. No multiple personalities. I'm one person, but I have many living through me, kind of, through the remote neural monitoring. You saw me. So, only in a criminal way. Mentally, physically fine and stable prior to all of this happening. No happening. This is how the police murder, traffic, and frame here in Napanee. Let this be a lesson because there's nothing I can be done about this. This is done. You've murdered the entire Wood bloodline, you pieces of shit garbage. I was sold for OPP revenge this way. These garbage get their identity theft and OPP get their homicide. It all works out perfect, right? Through them. Chris Wood, love all, hate none, be safe, watch yourselves, watch your children. Anybody have anything to say, hit that, leave a comment down below, hit the like, share, subscribe if you see this, especially share because it's very serious and important.